Welcome to the Bite of Art podcast, your daily dose of contemporary art insights. My name is Ivan Despotovic, and together with my guests, I'm going to guide you through the latest trends and developments in contemporary art in Europe. This podcast is part of the Bite of Art initiative that is supported by the Creative Europe program of the European Union. And our aim and ambition is to bring innovation in creation, consumption, and dissemination of contemporary art, making it more attractive, accessible, and mainstream throughout Europe. Here with me is Nikola Kolya Božović, I would say prominent artist and professor at the Faculty of Applied Arts at the University of Arts in Belgrade. This is technical announcement, Kolya, but to my experience and what you meant to the Serbian contemporary art scene, you are an individual who is always trying to push boundaries of contemporary art in Serbia, always trying to bring Serbian artists and art to the world and vice versa. And on that road, you also recognized and highly supported Bite of Art initiative since the very beginnings, shaping it in what it became today. And that is some very important and influential international initiative that is enhancing attractiveness and accessibility of contemporary art in Europe. Welcome, Kolya, to the Bite of Art podcast.
Thank you.
How do you like, Kolya, how Bite developed over these 5 years and what it became?
That was my dream from the beginning. I was very optimistic in that way, and in that way, I think you succeed. It's very important for this kind of organizations to be born in the real life of contemporary art, or in art life. To have roots in the real. So that's why I was thinking, should we succeed? But I think it is good now. Also, it's so good that it's international initiative, but we may say it's from Serbia.
Idea was born here.
Idea was born. And it was, I was thinking, how to make something that will provide some kind of help to the institution of culture and art in one country, which was socialistic or communistic background. When the people who are working in the culture institutions was born in this kind of atmosphere, so they always think that they don't need any kind of help. So it is difficult. It is difficult to explain to them why they need some kind of help, But I think you succeed.
Yeah, and with your help, actually. Yeah, and all over the world, like all Europe. Yeah. So since actually we covered around 20 exhibitions so far and in 4 countries. So I think that this is huge success from one bottom-up initiative to the world. Kolya, this is not about Bite, it's about some other issues that Bite is dealing with in the contemporary art, and one of the things is education. But before that, I would like to ask you, as a professor, you're working with a lot of young students, and those are future artists, or some of your students are already very established artists and in very early age. How are you looking at the future of contemporary art in Serbia?
I'm not happy we are not fast enough. We are not fast enough, but we have some results, and not only thanks to me, thanks to just things that you have done in the beginning of 2000. Now they are coming the results. So it's a pity that we are not faster. So it's a pity that we lose 10 or 20 years before 2000, But every time has their own reasons, why, things are happening. So things are, but still, we are not communicated enough with the world. that was my goal, you know, to just communication. So when I look which institutions in Serbia are successful, if I notice if I see that there is communication, then I'm happy, you know, because the quality is coming, you know, depend of the talent, and of course there is production as a team, but you know, it will be okay.
But in which sense do you think that we are not fast? In the sense of making art, we are not catching the trends in creation of art, or maybe
only in communication.
So only in communication.
I don't know why. I think people who was raised in Yugoslavia, they was raised in that spirit of we don't need West and we don't need East. We are happy with ourselves. So I think that's one of the reasons. And of course, we need more people who are doing collecting. We need people who are making collections of contemporary art. Then we will have everything more.
Yeah, this is the problem of the market, which do not exist.
Yeah,
here in Serbia,
it exists, but it's not good enough. It's not strong enough, especially for young artists.
Yeah. But that's funny because you said that during Yugoslavia here, nobody, we think that we don't need East, we don't need West. Currently in our society, everything is about East and West. So you are either pro-West or you are either pro-East. So there is nobody who is like, maybe there are some people who are sitting on both chairs and trying to navigate the both discourse.
It was the same, I think, 100 years. And that's why our intellectual elite choose not to be West and East. You know, it was safe zone.
Yeah.
And they all, now they are professors, they are big authorities in art history, in curating, and they are raised in that time, and they don't, I don't know. I always thinking when I come to Serbia with some big curator name from the world that everybody will be happy. No, people are not so interesting.
Yeah, but even that, which you said, in the world, how hard is, for example, to today deal with contemporary art and still trying to have this position like Switzerland, like neutral position, meaning because whole world is polarized. So you are either pro-East or pro-West. If you are talking about economy, if you're talking about human rights, in any aspect of our lives. And then if you want to be a contemporary artist who is, for example, maybe addressing contemporary challenges of contemporary society, then you sometimes need to have some stance or trying maybe to connect the two. And how hard is it to be in contemporary art and do not be on either sides?
It's not so, art is not so connected with politics. It is, but not so. So you could be part of the art system, world art system, and politically your country no need necessary to be on the same political, but we are not the part of the system. Yeah. It's not because of politics. It's because of, I don't know why. I tried to figure out, but I'm not sure. Maybe we need more money in the system. I don't know, but we are not part of the system. When I said system, I'm thinking about auction houses. I'm thinking about World Biennale in Sao Paulo, in Istanbul, in Lyon, or things. So it's very when some artists from here succeed to exhibit there, it's big thing, you know. And of course in Venice we have a pavilion, but in the main program, with the curator program of the chief curator of Venice Biennale, I don't remember when we was having our artist, maybe 20 years, 30 years ago. So succeed in that way, we need the help of the system, and we need help of the government, and we need help of our intellectual elite. Everybody must working together
to address that. Kolya, I wanted to speak with you, as I said, about the education. And when I'm speaking to my generation or speaking with people who are even younger, much younger than me, or I was just speaking with one person, and she told me that actually even those fast food deliveries, when they're coming to the contemporary art museums and so on, they're not quite sure where they're actually approaching. And this this inspired me to ask you a question, because not a lot of people knows exactly what is contemporary art and what are the main differences from, for example, modern art. I have many friends who are from the other side asking me, but is every time, in every period in our history had its own contemporary art and so on? So what is different today and so on? So can you maybe share a little bit with our audience what is contemporary art and what is the difference between modern art?
The logical point of flow where the art history of the Western world has stopped. Currently, we name it now. We call that contemporary art. Is just some period after more modern art. So first it was more modern art, and that was all the results of the human experience and art history flow from the history, which is resulting as in that experience we call more modern art, in architecture, in painting, in every art. And after that, we as a part of Western cultural civilization, we stop in this period we called contemporary art period. So everything which is produced, and nobody see what kind of name of the cultural movement or the art style will be next. You know,
post-contemporary.
Yes, maybe yes, post-contemporary, post-human, and post.
Yes.
I don't know, but contemporary art and all the experience of more modern art give us a lot of freedom in art, but also freedom in the education process for the artist of the tomorrow. So I don't know. We will see what will happen.
What will happen? When I'm thinking about the main, some of the main characteristics, first which came to my mind is globalization. I think that globalization plays important variable in contemporary art today, meaning that there is a lot of cross-cultural experience and exchanges. And I think that this completely shifts not only in culture and art, but in every other aspect of our lives. It's changed our perspective, how we're looking at the world. And just recently I was listening to one song, and a very old song, Serbian, and I've just started singing that song and trying to figure the next word. And when he said some phrase, I expected that the next word will be universe, because it was something like big or high to the universe or something like that. But it was not, it was to the mountain. And then actually that inspired me to think like how over the time actually perspective of what is big changed. 100 years ago the mountain was big. Today universe, the universe is big. And this inspired me from the other side to think about how actually globalization and capitalism impacted and enlarged our dreams. So we started thinking much bigger than we were before and dreaming about our lives and everything in our lives. So do you think that globalization and capitalism are one of the important factors in contemporary art?
Of course, globalization is just one segment, just one. You could say it's the same like technology, you know, because you don't need today. You don't need to move for your place. You don't need to become global in real life, because you are capable to become global through internet. You know, you can move your eyes. You can see every street in New York, in LA, without moving from your mountain. You know, but your question is about dimensions. But dimensions. I'm looking to my son. He's like 10 years old, and he's living. You can say that he's living in bigger dimensions than I was living. in his day. But that could be also not true, really, because he will need to have more real life experience as I was having. So some things are never changed, but some things are. I was looking the TV show, TV documentary about Christopher Columbus, and he was not feeling successful, you know, because he was the first agreement with the Queen, the Spanish Queen, was to provide a road to India. You know, so he never fulfilled his his agreement.
He died.
He died. He was mad. He was like, oh my God, because the Queen said,
yeah,
you are not doing what you promised. You know, so I don't know. It's also a story about dimensions. You know, and he was just having that possibility to go further. There is a lot of people on the boats who was almost there,
yeah,
but they come back, you know. So I don't know. It's interesting question. Education question about education is maybe now the most interesting question that we as society have. I think, you know, the question of education for the future. So, because you know, if you ask me about education of the future, I have like 5 questions that I could ask, and after these 5 questions, we will have answer to your question. You know, because we are living in so interesting time. You know, because every day it's so dynamic. Things are changing so fast, and it is also a process of the pattern that we will make for the future. That it's look like that. Maybe not. Maybe we are now entering the phase that we will not have any kind of conclusions, just questions. You know, for example, it's rapid, the dynamic changes. You know. For example, we need to have local or global agreement about values, you know, and that will not be finished in the next 2 years, next 5 years. So we will trying to find agreement, local or global, about values, and after that we will know what kind of education we want, and also what about artificial intelligence? You know, we don't know. So we are waiting. We are waiting to see what artificial intelligence will give us. But artificial intelligence will change every week.
Yeah, this is why I'm asking, can we wait? Because I think that
No,
this is so progressive, we need
absurd.
to react quickly.
There is no waiting, because we will wait to have some conclusions. And after 2 weeks, we will have another one. So the question is, for what we are preparing these young people? What kind of artist society will need in the future? It's almost impossible to know. For what we are preparing them. So, of course, art is not like other jobs. It's not like, you know, we need 100 soldiers, let's prepare them. You know, we need 100 machine engineers, prepare them on the faculty. Art is not like that, but it's similar.
But do, for example, then educational institutions in the field of art have capacity to quickly react, especially, for example, I know that there is some and old professors who are from the previous time and who cannot catch up with latest trends and technologies so quickly and so easily. And as you mentioned, artificial intelligence is something that I, with 30-something years, cannot easily catch, how actually it's progressive every week, as you said. So I am then skeptical about how institutions, not only here, in whole Europe, will react.
But that is also interesting. For example, 20 years ago, on the academies in Europe, for example, on the department for architecture or photography, they was also having in traditional academy, traditional schools, drawings and paintings. And then somebody says, but why today for photograph needs to know to paint? And they delete that from the program. So if you go to academy in Amsterdam or in Hague, I don't know, on the department for photography, there is no painting and drawing anymore. But I heard they are thinking
returning back.
Just
in case.
I don't know. Somebody says, let's try, that we was having 20 years ago. So, and technology. We don't, not only artificial intelligence. Technology will provide. I suppose, I don't know. I could imagine that art will make a distance from the craft more as the technology evolves. As artists, when the photography when they invent photography, artists make distance from the making classical portraits, because you have, and so technology take a new territory from the artist, but the artist find a new
territory
and space of freedom, and so I suppose it will be like that.
Yeah,
but nobody knows.
But actually, the art found space in education, in the education of the society, in emancipation,
It's happening. All the new experience are immediately applied in the education process. Yeah. Especially in the West world.
Do you have some maybe example of some educational institution in the world which is actually opening this discussion? Because if you're saying that this is nobody knows what are the future, how the future artists will look like, what will be the needs in the future out of the artists. Do you have some maybe example of some institutions who is opening this dialogue and discussion about the future contemporary artist, how it should look like?
But I don't know, because people are a little afraid to open this kind of discussions, because this kind of discussions make art more simple, more applied, more come to the ground. So art is always some kind of it's a product which is top of the society, So nobody have courage to think what people are waiting, just what will happen.
Yeah, but this approach which you actually shared about the Netherlands, it reminds me of something like some approach like we are not quite sure where it will go, so let's introduce back to basics. Let's go back to basics, and
it could happen.
The broader it is, the easier it will allow us to navigate then later when we figure out.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm not sure whether this is the right approach. It's too slow approach in my.
Yeah, it is. But always with art. There is one part which sometime we forgot to tell the students. You need to make something which is interesting. That is one of the. So people will just think, and that will be some kind of evolution. What is the space where men and women can do it better than machine. To be interesting, to be funny also, but not funny in the commercial way. So that will be the. But of course, there is one point of art that we all meet, which is not changing for hundreds of years, which is maybe the most important role of the art, is finding the truth. How to learn young people to always try to find what is the true or are true. I don't know.
Yeah, and actually, this you're sharing the story about finding what is the true in life and etc. And especially for young people. And I think this was something that when the Byte started, we were thinking about how to develop young audience and help them through our tools to engage in contemporary art in seeking the truth in their life.
Seeking the truth.
Yeah, but still, the irony is that less and less young people are the audience of contemporary, not less and less, but they're not frequently audience of contemporary art. They are not familiar. So I think that the role of the Byte Initiative is extremely important in this sense of coming the common ground with young people, helping them to navigate through these complex times.
But that was the one of the problems of the Byte of art, because Byte is anti-elite. Yeah. The idea of Byte is anti-elite, and there is this kind of elite behavior in all art, in all over the world. It's just like that. So that is the problem that. For me, I am a little allergic of this elite question, especially in the country when we was like raised as all equal, and you have people who consider them a left-wing intellectuals who think they're clever than others, which is not good, or they are thinking that some institutions are more for them than for other people, It's not true. All institutions in Serbia that we have are built by the nation, by the society, not by some strong individuals.
Yeah.
Of course, we have example of strong individuals everywhere, but and that was funny when we make a performance with Red Star fans. We asked them to make football fan transparent, open the Museum of Contemporary Art and National Museum, because they was closed for 10 years because of renovation. And they do it, and it was normal for them. And then we discovered they usually do that, they make transparent, give money to that hospital, make that hospital better, but the journalists never publish what they do, because society expects from them only to be bad and dangerous, not to do some kind of
nice things.
And for me, it was shocked, the reaction of the people who are artists or intellectuals. They was a little mad, Why the football fans want to talk about museums? It's not their territory. I said, art is territory for everybody. Art is the only space of freedom, only territory of freedom, in whole world. And it's for every people, football fans and everybody,
Yeah. And actually, this is exactly what we wanted to open. We wanted to open contemporary art to everyone.
Yeah.
And reach and every...
And that is another danger, to not look silly in that process, not look... you don't want to make art cheap, you know. You just want to provide access for every people to art.
Yeah.
Which is the most beautiful idea in the world.
And in order to protect that, actually, to protect art, what would be needed from not only here institutions, but let's say, what would you expect from Europe in the sense of shaping the future education system in the art? So are we need some discussions? Do we need some platforms to talk about? What would be needed? Because we cannot expect only answers from institutions, and institutions need to provide space to you, artists, professors, and so on, who are deeply engaged in this process, somehow to figure out what would be solutions and engage other aspects of lives interdisciplinary.
It could be, as I said to you, it could be possible when we get answers of the question, what will be with the artificial intelligence, what will be with the system of value.
But for the system of value, I remember that I wanted to ask you, Are we having human rights conventions, for example? Is that the basic thing that each of us agree on? Doesn't matter if we are, but this is
okay. That's the basic.
Yeah, we are not. Maybe not all countries are respecting those rights and so on. But I'm not going to engage.
But not every people respect that.
Exactly
rights.
as well. Yeah.
To your family, to your neighbor, to your to everybody.
Yeah. But I think that we have agreement there, and about the technology, I think that there are some things that we need to be clever enough to imagine perspectives. You know, whenever you're speaking about current times, you are quoting Orwell and how he 100 years from now predicted many things which are happening today. Even other people in the movie, in literacy and so on, literature. So they were all some kind like trying to imagine the future in which we could live in. And some things happened, some didn't. But could we imagine such future today?
But, for example, when I was young, you know, and you in the past 14 years, so there was period of your life when you are young. It is like you are young 30 years, like you had 30 or 25 years, you are young. But now you are young 2 days. Even my students, they are not too young anymore.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. It's going very fast.
Yeah.
So who will talk? During the talk about the future, the people who are talking become old.
Yeah, yeah.
They are not people who I don't know. We will see. We will see. It is really complicated. It is, but on the other hand, you just learn from history whatever you know. The good thing, and maybe the bad, is that that for young people, it's easy to find informations.
Yeah.
When we was young, like there was no magazine for contemporary art, especially from outside. There was some, but from outside it was almost impossible to find. And then there was some people on the markets, street markets, who was, I don't know, import from somewhere that magazines, and we go to street to buy, and we was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I have in my hand part of the art, you know.
Yeah.
But now they can find everything on Instagram.
Yeah. Access to education completely changed, but shouldn't we?
So professor role is becoming more and more just keep students on the right path, on the good road, you know, because they are finding everything, and we are becoming some kind of filters, which are maybe tell them, you know, this is good to see, and that this is bad, forget this, you know.
Mm.
It's more and more like that.
But have the skill set. Let's talk about a little bit more about technical things. Have skill set of the artist changed over the time, and do educational institutions have capacity to maintain, to catch the pace of those changes? Because today, for example, I know that many young artists are having problem to be represented in the galleries, to enter the market, to navigate the price and value of their artworks and so on. And now, actually, with new technologies, everything changed. Now they do not need to have representation of the gallery. It would be nice, but it's not
still need.
Yes, still needed, but not extremely necessary. Some people I know that through social media they become big enough that now actually galleries want them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can use the leverage of new technologies to become more successful. And I think even that artificial intelligence is something that they are going to bring to education and not educational institutions to them. I rather see that process this way. Like, how can people who are not raised with that, like professors, can going to teach some young people who raised with new technologies, who are completely changing the landscape?
Yeah, because some things is art never changing, or they are changing very slowly. You know, this kind of, you know, what is important, what is true, what is the true, what is beautiful. These things are never so. Professors still have something to say to the
students, yeah.
to the student. But it's about craft, about skills. We on our academy have. I am very proud because of that. We have still these subjects like craft paint, like the students make copies of the Middle Age paintings, and then they do the copies of the Renaissance. But first they do the copies of the Renaissance with only pigments and water, and then they do Renaissance with oil color, and then they do Baroque and everything, So I think if they are working enough on these subjects, it's very important for them, because if you see how was that art history flow during the centuries, you could imagine what will be. You could find some kind of rules, some kind of ideas, and you could think maybe to know to make assumptions what will be in the future.
Yeah. Do you have subjects which are related to new technologies at the faculty?
Yes. Yes. Yes, we have.
Teaching craft and technically how to use it and so on.
So but every department have in
the structure.
Yeah, in the structure have this, of course. Yeah. Not specially department for that, but on the Fine Art Academy they have department for new technique. I don't know how they call it.
And this is actually technology, and
it's
among other.
It's thinking, but also technology.
Yeah. Kolya, for the end, I would like to ask you something which I also asked one another guest in our podcast, and that question is like, what would you say to future artists? Because maybe some of them are afraid is what is coming, some of them are not sure, and so on. What would you say to them?
Be brave, love your job, believe in yourself. That's the most important. And be patient, and the results will come.
Thank you, Kolya, for being a guest of the Bite of Art podcast. We have a nice talk.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Bite of Art podcast. Subscribe to our channel and follow us for more trends in contemporary art. See you until next episode.